Good morning and welcome back to Coaching Conversations. I'm Maria Sabio, and today we're sharing from our soon to be released book, The Daily Path to Resilience Small Steps to an Unshakable You. And the book itself is a modern interpretation of ancient Stoic wisdom. It's one quote, one interpretation, one takeaway that you can actually use today as a daily practice. And the more you return to it, the more it returns you to your center.
And I'm Lourdes Slaper. Today, we're taking a deep dive with a quote that's going to challenge how you think about integrity. Here's the quote: "Don't let someone who disrespects you control your thoughts. See things clearly and stand by what's true." Now, Maria, that sounds simple and easy, but in practice, not letting disrespect hijack our minds, that's not always easy.
No, it isn't, Lourdes. It's a challenge because our primal instinct is always going to be to react and to defend. But the quote itself is pure stoicism. It's focusing on virtue as the highest good. It's the radical idea that the only thing truly good in life is your own moral character, your virtue. Everything else is, everything else, your reputation, your health, your money, even your life, they're really just externals. And your mind and your inner self, that's the one part of you that's truly free. And it's designed to live in harmony with the logos, the rational order of the universe. And it's through justice and reverence and humility.
Mm. Yeah, so when we encounter disrespect, or when life throws something truly awful our way, like dealing with a chronic illness, the profound sorrow due to the loss of a loved one, or even, just navigating misplaced blame from a family member, our job isn't to fix the external thing, it's to hold on to our internal goodness.
Exactly. It's about refusing to let those external events to pull your mind into anger, to selfishness, or to even sorrow or fear, because those are the emotions that can cut you off from your true nature, from your best self, from what you were made to be. You stand by what's true, not just in the world, but true within yourself. It's really about your integrity.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we're not suggesting that you don't feel
Yeah.
your feelings, but that you don't get stuck there or behave reactively, right? So let's take that to the extreme with an example of an ethical conflict at work, right? Imagine you're a real estate agent. You've got a big deal on the line, potentially a life changing commission. You're already spending the money, and your senior partner, a powerful figure in the firm, tells you to strategically omit some negative information. So it may not be illegal, but it's definitely unethical and dishonest, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Let it sit with you. It doesn't feel right, right? But the pressure in that moment, it could be immense, right? Your career, your income, maybe even your standing with the company. All of those things would be online. But most most people would rationalize because of the fear itself. But if you rationalize and just start saying, "Oh, just this once," or everyone does it, where do you go from there?
Mm, yeah. And that's where the Stoic principle kicks in. The partner is disrespecting you by asking you to compromise your integrity. But do you let their requests control your actions? You are not obliged to the partner's unethical demand. Your obligation is actually to justice, to honesty, and to your own moral compass.
Yeah, so in the moment, applying virtue as the highest good means really recognizing that the commission that the partner's approval, or even keeping your job, those are all external. They're not good in themselves. The only good is to stand by what's true, right? Because you refuse the instruction, calmly stating your inability to comply with something unethical. You accept the potential consequences at that point. And it could be that you're, losing the deal or being fired, whatever the consequence might be, as that being preferable to violating your own moral code and your principles.
Yeah, it's choosing to stand firm in your place in the grand design, knowing that sacrificing your virtue for an external gain means abandoning your integrity. Your virtue shines brightest when you refuse to stoop to someone else's level, even when it costs you.
Yeah. So, how do we apply this profound commitment to virtue in our 21st century lives, where we have these temptations these temptations, and they're everywhere, right? The choice: do we compromise ourselves or do we not?
Mm, yeah, it's incessant. Think of your virtue as an inner GPS. It's the only thing that consistently points you to your true north, regardless of where your body is or what external circumstances are swirling about around you.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're constantly bombarded with signals trying to divert us. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's something at work, or you know, maybe it's about taking a shortcut, or even just the nagging urge to cut corners in your personal life when no one's watching.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've certainly encountered this in various workplaces, people fudging their work, marking items as complete when they weren't, not acknowledging missing inventory. I could go on, but I won't.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you wonder why some people, they seem very successful, but they feel empty inside, or they feel like something's missing. And one of the things that could be missing is their own integrity, right? How they can't face themselves in the mirror because they've compromised so much to be, quote unquote, successful or seen as successful. We've all been tested sometimes. We've failed, and sometimes we've held fast to our own integrity. It's on these occasions that we when we choose correctly, when we choose integrity, we build our self confidence and we build our character.
Yes. And so the application of virtue is the highest good means you instinctively check your inner GPS. So
Mhm.
instead of asking, what's the easiest path or what will others think, you ask, what is the virtuous path? What aligns with justice, honesty, self control, regardless of the outcome? You don't need a detailed to do list for every
Mhm.
situation. You just need to ensure your inner compass is always calibrated to virtue. It's your unwavering internal guide, helping you navigate the moral complexities of modern life without losing your way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's your thought for the week. Don't just let it, don't let it stay a quote. Let it challenge you. Let it shape you. Reflect on it, because it's important to you. It's important to your happiness. So try it out in real life and see how it changes the way you think, the way you show up. And we'll be back next week with another reading from, again, our soon to be released book, The Path to Resilience: Small Steps to an Unshakable You.